But we thank God that He has seen us through, and now we are here to welcome the Sabbath. We're going to stand up with song number 80. Song number 80. Tupe moto wa uwai. 3 go. Tupe moto wa uwai uliowaka zamani, uliowaongoza juu wazee watakatifu. Wapi roho iliyokaa moyoni mwa Ibrahimu, kadhalika ndugu Paulo aliwezeshwa na moto. Neema yako ina nguvu siku hizi sawa, kama wakati wa Musa, Ayubu na wa Eliya. Zamani za kale Bwana, kumbuka na kwa rehema ziuishe roho zetu kwa Roho Mtakatifu. Let's pray. We thank you, Father, for having taken of us since we left each other on Sabbath, Father, until now, Father. Father, we come to worship you, Father, and to welcome your Sabbath, Father. Father, I want to ask you, you may lead us, Father, through the Sabbath, Father. You may sanctify us, Father. You may protect us, Father. Wash our lips, Father. You may cleanse us, Father, as you are entering your Sabbath, Father. Father, now we want to your word, Father. We want to ask you, that, Father, you want to speak in this place, Father. It may change our life, Father, and bring peace in our life, Father. Then I want to start. We want to ask you us through until we finish. Just may pray. Amen.
Amen.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy day.
Yes, we thank God for giving us this day, Father. And it is another Sabbath that we want to worship Him. As you are aware, this Sabbath, we are being led by a department known as Possibility Ministry. They're the one in charge of the whole week, and they're going to crown their day tomorrow. So as you are aware, Possibility Ministry entails so many things, and especially touch those people. Sometimes you see them as vulnerable. Those sometimes you see them as least in society. Those sometimes you see them that they don't have value. But before God, they have value in our life. And sometimes somebody told me that sometimes you see people and you think that they have disability in their life. But I was told that if you start looking each and every person, we'll find that in one way or the other, it's not full. There's something that is lacking in him. It may be physical, it may be mental, it may be psychological. So sometimes we should not narrow ourselves about the lame, the blind, but we should open our mind and tell that disability, or what we call vulnerability, is not only about the people who see them in the street, like orphans, but even you as yourself. You may be one way or the other, you are lacking something in your life. So Possibility Ministry entails a lot of emphasis on people who sometimes see themselves that they are incapable of doing something. That's why Seventh Day came with this ministry, to make people who have that stigma in their life to realize that they are also valuable and they are also important in society. We are going to read a story in the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel. And that is 2 Samuel chapter 9, from verse 1 moving down. This is a story that we all are aware of it. And this one day, David asked, "Is there anyone who still remains in the house of Saul, whom I can show kindness?" But we're being told that later, there was someone who was brought, who was crippled, and he was orphan. I'm aware that the father Jonathan has already, by that time, he was dead. So I'm sure that the person we're talking about, maybe Bosheth, he was orphan. And something sad, that he was crippled. The way you see in our society, the way you value people who are orphan, the way you perceive those people who are orphan. But something sad about maybe Bosheth, I mean, sorry for saying that, sometimes coming pronunciation of that word. Maybe Bosheth. Now, Mephibosheth was brought before King David. And I'm just seeing how Mephibosheth was valuing himself. I want us to read from verse 1 moving down. This story is a very sad story. But sometime when I read this story, it gives me hope. Verse 1. David asked, "Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's case?" Now there was a servant of Saul's house named Ziba. They called him, appear before David, and the king said to him, "Are you Ziba?" "Your servant," he replied. The king asked, "Is there anyone still left in the house of Saul to whom I can show good kindness?" Ziba answered the king, "There is still a son of Jonathan. He is crippled in both feet." He said, to make David know that this man he doesn't have any value, he said that there is someone who is still left in the house of Jonathan. But he described this person that is crippled both feet. And then David said, "Where is he?" The king asked. Ziba answered, "He is still in the house of Machir, son of Ammiel, in the Lodebar." So David had him brought from Lodebar, from the house of Machir, son of Ammiel. David said that, "Where is this, the person that you are telling me that is crippled both feet?" But Ziba is telling David that this person is staying in the house of Machir, the son of Ammiel. I'm just imagining how the family of Machir, son of Ammiel, are feeling. Because this person is not your son. It's not your son. The father is dead. The mother is dead. It's orphan. And now it's living in your family. To make the matter worse, that is crippled. I'm sure they were taking care of this person, because I'm sure we know somebody is crippled. He cannot walk. I'm sure maybe he was being taken to toilet. I'm sure that most of the things that were being done to him. I'm sure that maybe he was being lifted from one point to another. Maybe they were even helping him to take shower. So I'm imagining the way Ziba is describing how the person who is crippled, the one son of Jonathan who has been left, and is saying that this person is crippled in both his feet. Let's move ahead. So David had to brought him from the house of Machir, son of Amiel. When Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, came to David, he bowed down to pay him honor. He was brought before David. And I'm sure that he felt that it doesn't have any value. That's why the first thing he did, he bowed before David. And then I'm happy with how David started. David said, Mephibosheth, your servant replied, don't be afraid. David said to him, for I will surely show kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will destroy all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul, and you will always eat at my table. Mephibosheth bowed down and said, what is your servant that I should notice a dead dog like me? You know, he told David that what have you seen in me? I'm just like a dead dog. You know, he didn't see himself as somebody who's valued in life because already he was orphan. 2, he was crippled. Nothing he could do. Now he's saying that, what have you noticed in me? Just a dead like dog. Just like a dead like dog. What have you noticed? What have you seen in me? But I'm happy that when he said that, the next thing David said, then the king summoned Ziba, the Saul's servant, and said to him, I've given your master a grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your son and your servant are to farm for the land for him and bring to the crop so that your master grant may be provided for. And Mephibosheth, son of and Mephibosheth will always eat at my table. And Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. David said that you, Ziba, you must take care of this young man. You must ensure that he must get everything. That you, with your son and your servant, must ensure that you provide everything to this young man. I want to jump so that we can move very fast. Verse 12. We said, Mephibosheth had a son named Micah, and all members of Ziba's household were servants of Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem because he always ate at king's table, and he was crippled in both feet. That's the reason why this young man was living in Jerusalem was simply because he was eating at the table with the king. And we're being told that both are fit for cripple. I know sometime in our life, we may see ourselves as dead dogs. The way this young man felt, and he asked himself, what have you seen in me? A dead dog like me. Sometime in our life, we may see ourselves as dead dog-like. The way this man who was crippled, this man who was orphan, he saw himself as a dead-like dog. It's a very sad story. But sometimes we don't value ourselves. Sometimes we see ourselves as weak. Sometimes we value those people who we see them as vulnerable in society as very weak. But I'm happy that our God, who loves us, is still saying that enough is enough. You have suffered for so many years, but now I want you to eat with me at the table. That after that, this young man who was crippled, he had to live in Jerusalem, simply because he was eating at the feet, at the table of the king. I don't know sometimes how much you value yourself. I don't know sometimes how much you've thought of yourself and feel that enough is enough. Now I don't have any value in my life. But God is telling us that here He is with us. God is telling us that however much you've suffered, the way this man had suffered, number one, he was orphan. Two, he was crippled. Not only crippled one leg, he was crippled both feet. But I'm happy that David had to welcome him and told him that you must eat with me in the same table. And something that pleased me a lot, that he told Ziba that you must ensure that this man doesn't lack anything, that you must be the servant of him. You must ensure that everything he needs in his life, you must provide. Our God loves us so much. We may feel that you are very low. You may feel that you are least in society. In your family, you may feel that you don't have any value. But our God is a God who make relationship with those people who feel that they're very low. It is my humble request that let us bank our hope in Jesus Christ. Because He's the one who gives us strength. He's the one who walks with us. He's the one who leads us in everything that we need in our life. He's the one who cares for us. He's the one who gives us comfort. He's the one who gives us strength. That is none other than Jesus Christ. David stood with this young man who was crippled. This young man who felt that is dead dog. But he was told that no, you have to dinner with me in the same table. And I'm happy he lived in Jerusalem because he always dinner with David in the same table. And in entire life, he lived in David. So it's my request that let us value ourselves and we feel that we have value in whatever we are doing in this world. And may God bless you. Elder Koech, kindly come pray for us.